All right. Well, we're back on a different link, different stream. Sorry about that, folks. YouTube is having some server issues or problems. Anyway, where were we talking about financial advisors and so forth?
Correct.
Listen, I mean, these guys do sometimes get financial advisors that rip them off. Those are the guys I feel sorry for.
But this is why the NFL has to step in and have an NFL sanctioned advisor, because any Joe Schmo can be an advisor,
right?
And then they're going to take these guys' money. This is why I have a problem with agents too. Agents suck.
Yes, they do.
They are the blood sucking of professional sports. They are the bottom feeders. And if any agents out there listening, I really don't care. Call me, complain to me, because you know why? What happens to these players when they retire? Where's their agent? Bye bye.
Yeah, exactly.
You know, I have a lot of retired guys that I'm still associated very well with and friends with, and as soon the day they retired, their agent was gone. Now you're on your own. So you've been with me for 15 years. I have paid you for 15 years of service. You've gotten me money. You've gotten a lot of money from me. Now that I'm retired, I'm not useful anymore. I'm useless.
Yeah.
Come on, man.
Yeah, give me some gigs or something. Give me some
autograph appearances, something.
Speaking engagement, something. Yeah, and you're right. It's exactly what happens. And for those guys, I'll feel for them. But for the guys that go out, was a story that came out a few years ago. Some Giants defensive lineman or something like that. He was like a rookie or second year guy. So I say only because in the grand scheme of things, only $450,000.
Yeah, only.
Yeah, but when you're paying agents, financial guys, taxes, especially in New York, he probably was lucky if he saw even $200,000 out of all that. But he had lost a $150,000 earring or something during practice or a game or something like that. It's like, dude, I mean, seriously?
First off, who needs a $150,000 earring?
Precisely. And so when you're only clearing maybe $200,000 of your $450,000 salary, what are you thinking? You know, so those are the kind of guys I don't feel sorry for. No. And I understand what, exactly like you said, you've never had money before and, let me get this, let me get that. All right, that's going to be all good for a couple of years. And so when that's all gone, you're going to be back.
You still have that $8,000 mortgage payment. You still have that, $2,000 car payment.
That's right. And you'll be right back where you started. So
I remember, one time we were over at training camp over when it was in Orlando, and we're downtown. And I love Shelton Quarles. He's an awesome guy.
Yep, good dude.
I know Shelton personally. Actually, I coach his son.
No, do you? Cool.
Yeah, I do. Just thought I'd throw my sense in there.
It was just so funny to see because here comes Shelton. He rolls up in a hardtop convertible Bentley, and I'm looking at him like, really?
Right.
You're making that much money? Well, you know what? Shelton had a great career, and Shelton, it was ended too short.
Yeah. Well, yeah. I mean, he lasted longer than anybody would have ever guessed. That's for sure.
Yeah. He was a class act guy.
Yeah.
He was always nice to the fans. He was always nice to the reporters. But I was just to myself just laughing. I'm going, what in the hell is he rolling up in with? You know?
Yeah. Hey, look. Well, obviously, you're okay. I have no problem with you getting that one thing.
Exactly. Treat yourself. I mean, you've gotten to that point. Treat yourself. Right. Live the way you want to live,
but don't be ridiculous.
But don't be stupid about it.
And so it's a shame, but and of course you don't have the guaranteed contracts and stuff like that. Baseball guys, they sign a contract, and whether or not they play or whether they get suspended or whatever, they're still getting their money. It's ridiculous. So, but it's a tough game, and that's a high number. I mean, when you're close to 80% and your guys going broke in your league, you're right. They probably do need to step in a little bit more than just offer a class or a seminar or whatever. Some stuff just may be mandatory that, hey, we're going to take X amount out of your check every week, and we're putting it. We're doing something with it for you.
What happens when you're out of the game and you go out of the game and you're hurt for the rest of your life?
Right.
You can't sit. You can't stand. You got bad knees. You got a bad. What do you do?
Yeah.
Exactly. I mean, you don't have enough money anymore to open up your own business.
Yep.
So now you have to go work for corporate America or some schmo who's going to use you.
If you have something to fall back on.
If you have something. Yes, exactly.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's the professional world of professional sports is tough. People don't, it's entertainment.
Right.
But people don't look further past the sports end of it. Right. What happens after the game.
Well, the participants and the fans alike don't look at it that way. All they want, this guy's making this much money,
right.
Blah, blah, blah. And I think that's very true. But I think in a sport like football or what have you, where the lifespan, honestly, the career is a lot shorter than probably any other sport, and they don't have guaranteed contracts, and certain things, they don't end up getting like they do with baseball. People don't understand that.
Correct. And that's where Vince Young should have known better than that. I mean, he's seeing guys before him come and go. 1, 2, 3 years. With Vince, when he started getting depressed and was having mental issues, seriously, dude.
Yeah.
You're a millionaire.
Yep.
You're a starting quarterback.
Yep.
Quit whining. Put your big boy pull-ups on and go play the game.
That's right. Get in the workout, and just didn't do it. So it's another hard lesson they have to learn. But it is what it is. It's easy to sit. I guess it's easy for us to sit here and criticize, and we've never been there. But I'd like to think that I'd be a little bit smarter than that. But
don't whine. I'm sorry. The babies in the game today are. Oh, I can't do this. I can't do that. Really, dude?
Yeah.
You're a professional player.
Right.
Man up.
Well, that's just. I mean, look, you can't be that ignorant. You have to know. The odds of making the NFL are, I don't want to say astronomical because that's a little bit ridiculous, but they're not that great. And then you should know. I mean, it's pretty common knowledge that the lifespan of an NFL player,
2 to 3 tops,
2 to 3, and 5 years at max if you're a top player. And everybody thinks that guys like, Manning's been playing for 15 years, Champ Bailey's been playing for 14 years, and Brady's been playing for 15 years. That's a rarity. It really is a lot more rare than people realize because you only know about the stars that find a way to stick around for 10 years. 11,
but there's a lot of guys that you don't know about that has been there for 10, 15, 20 years. I mean, Jerry Rice was 18? He made it 18 years?
Yeah.
But he was one of the greats. But there's also a lot of the linemen that you don't hear about.
Yep, they're there
a lot of the
linebackers. 2 years and 3 years, and they're gone. Or they're back, or they're playing in the Arena League, or they're just playing out of a job.
True. You see him working at the insurance agency or something. You walk, hey, I know you.
Yeah, exactly. Or they're in jail, such as.
That's a whole other story for a whole nother day on that one.
Well, I only actually bring that up because Josh Brent this week got sentenced.
Yep.
Josh Brent, if anybody remembers, was a 7th round pick by the Dallas Cowboys in 2010, defensive guy, and he ended up last year, or was it the year before, DUI, and had an accident, and it killed one of his teammates. He got 180 days in jail.
That's it?
Oh, well,
it's ridiculous.
In 10 years probation and a $10,000 fine. That's it for DUI manslaughter in Dallas.
Well, what did Stallworth get?
He got a little bit more time than that, and his happened in Florida. So apparently Florida's DUI laws are a lot more strict than they are in Dallas, but I don't care. 180 days when you killed somebody? How is that even possible? I mean, I'm a victim of my own, previous issues with alcohol, which I'm 8 years free from. I've had my own DUI. I had, for my last one, I had 120 days. I got to do it, it was house arrest, but and I didn't kill anybody, thank goodness, or I wasn't in an accident or anything like that. And I see something like this, and it just makes me sick. You took this man's life, and you had, you get 180 days in jail is all you're going to get.
That's a crying shame.
Well, what's a crying shame is the man's only 26, so conceivably he could still come back and play football if somebody's willing to give him a chance.
Well, they gave Michael Vick a chance. Why wouldn't they give him a chance?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't want to put those. That's almost an apples to oranges argument.
Gave Ray Lewis. Well, you talk about Ray Lewis. They gave Ray a chance, and now Rays are going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So who was the one that played on was it the Ravens that was running drugs? What was his name? The running back.
Oh,
you know who I'm talking about?
No, I don't.
Come on, coach. You're a football guy now.
I am a football guy, but I have no freaking clue. Well, what? How long ago?
He played with Ray. The same time.
Jamal Lewis?
Thank you.
Yeah, that's right.
See, I knew you had it in there.
And I just got to
think. Dig deep, baby. Dig deep.
I'm working on it.
Well, the thing that was worse about this is it wasn't Josh Brent's first DUI. He had a DUI conviction in 2009 also, and it was a different state. So I just saw that this week, and I was like, you got to be kidding me. 180 days.
What upsets me is you didn't learn the first time?
Yeah.
Are you going to do it again?
Come on. I can't sit here and judge because like I said, I've been there, done that, unfortunately. But I was very lucky that my issues never involved anybody else, never involved an accident.
We all. I partake in my adult beverages. Don't get me wrong.
Right.
there have been times in my life should I have drove my car? Yeah.
Yeah.
I can, and thank God, knock on wood, I've never had an issue. But talk about maturity. The older you get,
that's right.
Now I know it's like, okay, 2, I'm good.
Yeah. I'm not by any means am I bragging about anything that I've ever done. I mean, I'm not proud of any of it, but this is one of those life lessons, and it's a thing I needed to do and go through to growing up. So, but at any rate, we got a caller here.
We do.
All right.
What's up, caller? Welcome to 2 Cents Sports News and Entertainment. How you doing? Well, actually, it's 2 Cents Sports and Entertainment now.
Right.
How you doing?
I'm doing pretty well, actually. I couldn't find the link on a Ustream, but I felt like a great person and wanted to talk to you about whatever topic is going on at the moment.
Okay. Which specific topic?
No, I think what he was saying was
jump in what we're talking about because he didn't hear us.
He didn't hear us, right?
Oh, okay.
Recap: Sherman, Super Bowl, drinking and driving.
Yeah, we talked quite a bit about the Richard Sherman situation. We were just talking about broke NFL players, and we just talked about Josh Brent, former Cowboy, just got sentenced to 180 days in jail for killing a teammate of his in a DUI accident. Those are basically what we've been touching on so far.
What is my feeling on Sherman? I mean, stats don't lie, in my opinion, and when you look at him, he's obviously the best corner of the league right now at the moment. I mean, for the past 2 years, he's nearly been stopping everything, and I feel like his confidence is good. I don't feel like it was some sort of vile statement he made. I feel like he needs that confidence to go in there when he's facing a quarterback like Peyton Manning.
Oh, come on!
He needs that.
Come on!
No,
I'm with you. You're saying exactly the same things that I said. So
yeah, and me and Vince here disagreed with him. So keep going.
Well, I mean, when you face someone like Peyton Manning, you know that he's a very smart quarterback, and he's going to study you. And you need. I mean, he's basically just demolished any other corner in this league. I mean, just look at Peyton Manning's stats. I mean, you go against a pass-heavy offense in the Broncos, and you go against the secondary in the Seahawks that's number one in the league in a lot of categories.
Yep, and you got Demaryius Thomas now coming out for the Broncos too, saying he hopes Richard Sherman covers him. So he's calling him out now too. So
I would call him out all day long. Now, do you think Peyton will school Sherman? I think he will.
I do.
Yeah, I don't think he's going to school Sherman. I think he's going to find weaknesses in between the Seahawks defense. I mean, I'm pretty sure one of the Seahawks secondaries get hurt the other week.
Yeah, but I think he's fine. I don't think it was
fine.
anything. It's keeping him out of the game or anything like that.
Put it this way: it's going to be an interesting game. I will say that all day long. I think that Peyton's going to come out. He knows Sherman's a threat. He'd be stupid not to. And if he tries him eventually throughout the game, I think Sherman will pick him. I will give him that.
He may try him if it's the right matchup, but I don't think he's going to go out there with the sole purpose of, hey, I'm going to go attack their best guy. I mean, it just doesn't make any sense. It's not smart. He's smarter than that, and they've got more weapons out there that they don't even need to go after him.
But if you attack their best guy right off the bat, it's going to open up your other guys on the other side, and everybody's going to think, Sherman. Boom, there's a touchdown over here.
But you're assuming that nobody else
on that. Also not Colin Kaepernick. I mean, with Colin Kaepernick, what was it, first down with 30 seconds left to go, you're on the 20-yard line, you have 2 timeouts, and you throw a lob to the end zone against a one-on-one with Richard Sherman, which I think was the dumbest decision ever.
I think it's about the only play that he had, though, at the time. I mean, let's not take anything away from the rest of that Seattle secondary because they're not all shabby themselves. They're all pretty damn good football players as well. This
is coming from an AFC guy.
Well, Seattle used to be in the AFC, so. But no, I agree with the caller here. So
that's the thing.
That's the second caller that's agreed with me.
Well, here's the thing: is you got me and Vince jumping down your throat. You're not going to win with 2 of us against 1. You're just not.
I've already won, so it doesn't really matter.
Wow.
Exactly.
Hey, caller, you got anything else?
No, just the fact that I mean the two teams that are in the Super Bowl, both states are legalizing marijuana, so I'm a little suspicious about so it's called Super Bowl, but you know what? Let them have their fun. I'm gonna go get whipped on my mom's belt. Thank you for the answer.
All right,
see you, man.
Wow.
I was waiting for somebody to say something about that. It's one of those things.
Yeah, this is ridiculous. You're not gonna win. You're not gonna win.
Whatever.
Guys, I really appreciate you having me on the show, man. It's been a fun time.
All right, well, I appreciate you being able to come on. Maybe I'll get on your show one of these days.
Absolutely. We'll start. We'll be here next Saturday, 9 o'clock in the morning, 9 to 11.
Sounds good.
And you can check out our website. It's it's vnradioshow.com.
Yeah, give out your stuff. Go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead.
vnradioshow.com. Check us out on Facebook. We'll be here next Saturday, 9 to 11.
I will be here too.
We were going to have, it's going to be the Super Show, because it's going to be the Saturday right before the Super Bowl. We're going to have Super Bowl champion Keith Lyle from the Rams, Super Bowl champ Cozy Coleman from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, and Tampa Bay Buccaneer Jerry Wunsch are all going to be live in studio.
You remind me of like a miniature Jerry Wunsch.
He does kind of, doesn't he? Yeah, a little bit.
Thanks.
But all these guys are going to be live in studio, so you'll be able to see them on cam. And
sounds good.
Please call in, ask questions. We're gonna have a good time. It's going to be an interesting show.
We'll do our Super Bowl show on next Sunday as well.
That's right. You guys are doing pregame.
Prime slot.
You're doing pregame, baby.
It's going to be tough when the regular season rolls back around to keep that time slot, but actually, yeah, I really appreciate you coming by.
We'd love to have you guys come on too, man.
Sounds
Pop
good.
in. I know Coach over there is going to be here on Saturday, so I'm sure he'll be chiming in his 2 cents.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, sounds good. Well, with that, we'll go to a brief break, and again, thanks, Vince Noble. Check him out.
Thanks, guys.
We'll be back in a couple minutes.
Michael G. Butash, attorney at law, is a former state prosecutor with substantial experience in handling all criminal and DUI matters. When you are facing charges, you want someone who aggressively defends cases ranging from minor traffic infractions to serious violent first-degree felonies. Call attorney Butash and together you'll discuss your case in person or by phone. He accepts most major credit cards and also offers payment plans. Call attorney Michael G. Butash today for your initial free consultation.
Have you ever wanted to be a part of a charity? Well, look no further. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 Cents Sports News and Entertainment's friend Derek Brooks and his charity are here to help. Ladies and gentlemen, you may check out everything pertaining to this foundation, whether it's on the field, behind the mic, or in the community. Ladies and gentlemen, donations, programs, appearances, sponsors, and to even contact the charity, ladies and gentlemen, go to www.db55.org and also go to that Facebook link on his page and become a fan of the official Derek Brooks charity, DB55. With the new year coming up, many people are going to be heading back to the gym and trying to lose weight. Nutrition is key. So, if you want to have awesome results and compete in a 90-day challenge where you can win free product, prizes, and vacations, join the Body by V Challenge with 2013 finalist Joe Peretta. Website to check it out is www.joinvi4.com. And remember, tell them 2 Cents Sports News and Entertainment sent ya.
All right, welcome back. Welcome back to 2 Cents Sports and Entertainment.
Yeah.
And we appreciate Vince Noble stepping in today and
Awesome.
a little banter back and forth. So,
Now we won.
whatever.
Oh God, man, come on.
There's no winning. It's my show.
Charlie Sheen wins though.
Yeah, winning. Denial is not a good thing.
I don't know, man. I'm telling you, I honestly think that we won that argument.
There's no argument. There's nothing to win. It's an opinionated thing.
Yeah.
And so my opinion is the one that matters most because it's my show. So
Look at you. You're just going for it.
It's that arrogance. It's the
You're the Richard Sherman of the 2 Cents Sports News and Entertainment Show.
That's right. If you come at the best, you're going to get the best. So you're the wrestling guy. You want to be the best, you got to beat the best.
That's right.
But at any rate, hope you're all still tuning in, and I know we've had some streaming problems and issues, but hopefully we've got that stuff correct.
Hey, we actually have another caller.
Another caller. All right, perfect.
Caller, what's your name, and welcome to 2 Cents Sports News and Entertainment. How you doing?
Fine. This is Travis.
Travis, what's going on? How you doing?
I'm doing fine. How are you? Finally get to talk to you after 2 or 3 weeks of calling in and getting busy signal.
Yeah, when Travis calls in, and I'm telling you, it's only Travis.
Right.
The line is busy.
Yeah.
Well, he just has bad timing, I guess.
It's your fault.
Yeah. It's all my fault, yeah.
Well, what's on your mind today, Travis?
Well, I'm deciding on what I want to get for lunch, so I got a few minutes to kill and talk about some sports, Broncos, the Super Bowl this next weekend.
Yeah, it's coming up. Broncos did to the Patriots, my Patriots, exactly what I said they were going to probably do, and that was going to be they were going to stop the run game and expose the secondary, and that's exactly what they did. And not only did they expose the secondary, but they even took Wes Welker to take out a secondary guy to make sure that they could do it. So, So it was tough to lose that game. It was heartbreaking, but at the same time, it was easier for me to take just simply because I knew what my team was and wasn't capable of, and I didn't go in there with any expectations that the Patriots could win. Therefore, when things went the way they went, exactly as I thought they would, I guess in a sense that made it easier to take. So,
but that's a good approach. But I think that it stung for the Patriots. I think that it stung all the way back to Boston. They flew over Omaha to get to Boston, and having Wes Welker take out
Aqib Talib.
Took out Talib, that probably stung because they lost it during free agency last year, and then went to Denver and had a wonderful season, so that kind of stung all the way back to back to Boston. So that was kind of a bittersweet moment for them.
Well, now let me ask you, Travis. There was a big, huge thing going on about that Wes Welker hit. Do you think that him trying to take out Talib was intentional?
No, I don't. I think that was just good football.
Well,
I think that he was just doing his job.
Well, but it was still intentional. Now, he did whether or not he intended to actually hurt him.
I don't think he did.
That's not intentional. But the pick itself was intentional. And I honestly thought there was a rule in the football about pick plays like that, and that's exactly what it was. It was definitely an intentional move. I don't think he had every intention of breaking his ribs and taking him out of the game. I don't think that was it, but the play itself was intentional.
I don't think the injuries were intentional. That just happened, but maybe it was intentional. I mean, there's nothing they can do about it now, but there wasn't as much fuss raised about it during the previous games when Broncos players took out other teams' players, and during the regular season there was no big fuss about it, but Belichick raised a fuss about taking out Talib, and so it kind of goes both ways. I'm sure the Patriots took out some of the other teams' players when they played, so it's so I don't really have much.
Here's the thing, though: it's whether or not you're doing it intentionally or unintentional. There's two different aspects. I mean, you got to understand too that the Patriots also lost Gronkowski again for the entire season because of an intentional hit at his knees. And you can argue, oh, well, they have to go low now or this or that. There's still plenty of room between, the head and the knees without having to go at somebody's knees. So this wasn't the only time that the Patriots have had one of their best players taken out this season. Again, I don't think Welker's intention was like, well, I'm going to go and pick Talib here in the middle and break his ribs and put him out of the game. I don't think that Welker went into it with that aspect of it, but the way he did it, there was certainly technique or lack of technique in a sense where it probably there was a good possibility it was at least going to take Talib out of the play for a little while anyway, if not trying to knock the breath out of him. And then unfortunately it ended up being a little bit more than that. So
that may be true, but once a player is in the middle of a play, I mean he can't change his movements and stuff to try to avoid somebody. I mean, they're going to hit. I mean, they're going to collide or hit, regardless. So there's nothing much he can do about that. I mean, that's just football. I mean,
but was it necessary
to pick? You'll get your penalties, or.
But was it necessary to pick him like that? He wasn't really even involved in the play. He was running with running with the guy that he was covering, and Welker came across the middle and purposely checked him. Which there's supposed to be a penalty for that, just like there is in basketball, for an illegal pick. And they didn't call it, and they're still saying it's a legitimate play. I guess maybe they took the rule out, or I'm mistaken, but...
if the refs called it that, then I guess that's what it is. I mean, not much I can do about it.
Here's my thing,
Broncos
Travis.
were the better team, And,
well, I'm not. Listen, I'm not arguing the fact that the Broncos weren't a better team. I said that going in, even as a Patriots fan. I mean, like I said, this game went exactly the way I said. I mean, whether Aqib Talib was in the lineup or not, I don't think the outcome of the game would have been any different. He didn't. Have any outcome with the Patriots not being able to do anything on offense. That had nothing to do with it. I mean, even with Talib out, the Patriots still held the Broncos to only 26 points. That's a still winnable game by the Patriots. The Patriots' problem was that they could not go up against that number one run-stopping defense of Denver. And when they couldn't do that, all other aspects of their game were taken out. And Brady didn't have his Gronk. He didn't have his Welker. He had to go to Austin Collie, and Danny Amendola disappeared, and Dobson disappeared. Kimbrell Tompkins disappeared. I mean, his receivers were done. They had nothing.
Yeah. So that is true.
So I don't think that
that's just football. I mean, players get injured. Like for Denver, Von Miller was out for the whole season. He didn't play. Champ Bailey finally came back.
He came in by default because the guy ahead of him was actually injured. But he can still play some football. There's no question.
Yeah.
No question.
Yeah. So, but I think both teams have been practicing past this week. Then they'll finish practicing this week and everything. So, but I think that Manning has the Seahawks right where he wants them. He's been studying and figuring out all their weaknesses and everything. So, but it's going to be a good game, and I think the Patriots the final score will probably be 30 plus for the Broncos and below 20 for the Seahawks.
Yeah, I think it's going to be. I think it very well could be below 20 for both teams. To be honest, when you throw in the weather conditions, I don't think the Broncos are going to put up 30 points on Seattle. Seattle hasn't given up that many points all season, and their defense is awful stingy. And you've seen. It's not like they haven't played anybody this year. They've played the 49ers twice. Kaepernick's a pretty good quarterback. They took out Breeze. They took out Matt Ryan. They took out some top quarterbacks this season. Manning's not going to be any different. It's going to be. I believe it's going to be a low scoring game. We're going to break this down a lot more next week.
Yeah, remember you got Big Bad Sherman covering Demarius Thomas.
Well, amongst others, but we'll be breaking it down more. I don't think it's going to be that high scoring. I really don't. But I've seen the Broncos here before. We'll see. Call us back next week.
The Seahawks are playing against Peyton Manning, so that changes everything.
Yeah.
I don't know. Manning's still questionable. We'll see what happens. Hey, we
shall see.
Yep. Right. Call in next week. We'll be breaking the game down a little bit more. Appreciate the call.
All right.
Thanks, Travis.
Okay, I will.
All right, take care, Travis. You got it. Bye.
So that was cool.
Yep, no doubt about it.
Yeah,
I will be breaking the game down next week. So I didn't want to get too much into it right now. But it's I wanted to touch on it a little bit. Obviously, it's coming up next week, but we'll have a little bit more specifics and breaking it down a little bit more following next week. But as the ticket prices continue to drop and the interest in the game continues to drop, I know the NFL's scrambling right now. It's it's insane how the prices are of the Super Bowl right now. It's just not worth it.
Well, it's just, I find it funny. You know, I mean, they dropped the prices, but did you see what they still were?
It's not that they're having to drop them because they're not getting any bites on them.
I understand, but did you see what they still are?
Oh, I know.
It's ridiculous.
It's still ridiculous. I mean, I won the Super Bowl lottery back in '99 when the Super Bowl was going to be in Tampa, or 99-2000/2000.
Yeah.
You know, when the Bucks had a chance of being there, obviously didn't go their way, and that was the Ravens Giants Super Bowl. I actually won the lottery to get tickets for that game, and at that time, even in 99-2000, they were $750 a piece. Now they're obviously much greater than that, and that's why for the most part, the real fans aren't at these games. It's a bunch of corporate hubbubs, and
it really is. It's annoying because, I mean, you're not going to see a bunch of the normal Seahawk fans, and you're not going to see a bunch of the normal Denver fans.
No, and I mean, like when the Bucks did make it in 2002, I had a couple friends that actually did go to the game. They ended up spending about $2,500 just for that alone. So,
well, it looks like we have another caller.
All
Caller,
right.
What's your name, and welcome to 2 Cents Sports and Entertainment.
My name is Tyrone Smoochie Wallace.
Tyrone Smoochie Wallace.
All right.
Oh God, it's I get it. That Key and Peele skit. All right, Tyrone Smoochie Wallace. What's going on?
I just want to talk about the Super Bowl a little bit, and the fact that I don't believe that the Denver Broncos will put 30 on the Seattle Seahawks.
I agree with you.
I still believe that if Denver has trouble giving nothing away to Patriots secondary, if Denver is having that much trouble and they have to take out someone like to keep the league, then they're obviously, it's going to be a little bit more difficult for them to put on 30 against someone like the Seahawks.
Yeah, and they didn't even put 30 up against the Patriots last week. I mean, okay, they only put up 26, but still, I mean, they could have and should have done more than that, and they didn't. I agree with you. I do not see them being able to put up 30 points on Seattle. Seattle has not given up that many points all year. There's no reason to think that all of a sudden they're going to do it now. It just doesn't make just no logic to that thinking whatsoever.
I just have one more thing to talk about. I mean, this is pretty out of the ordinary here, but do any of you feel like the Charlie Strong move to Texas will end up in some sort of racism?
Oh man, that's a heavy question. Look, it is good. Texas is a tough job. There's no question about it. I would hope that that's not going to happen. I'm not sure. I think Charlie Strong's a great coach, and I'm not sold to find that Texas might be the greatest place for him to be. Not because of the color of his skin, but because of the type of coach that he is and the expectations that go along with being the coach at Texas with regards to a lot of the media things that they ask for, and they have TV shows, and that's just not what Charlie Strong's all about. So that could be a difficult transition for him. Now, with that being said, could that reflect with him in a racially charged situation? It could. I hope it doesn't come down to that.
Yeah. I've got one more topic to talk about, and it's about Super Bowl weekend.
Okay.
Now, I know the NFL is talking about moving the Super Bowl to a Saturday, but that will also cause other conflict with UFC events that are also on Saturday. Do you think the NFL would change that to a Saturday? Would change the game to a Saturday?
I honestly, the NFL really doesn't care about any other sports and what they conflict with. They just don't. The NFL. That's why the NFL has done more Thursday night games. It's okay.
Well, the reason is because of the fact that the UFC is holding an event on Fox the same night as the Super Bowl, and Super Bowl is on Fox. So I was wondering, what I mean? Like the fact is, two sports competing against each other for ratings is never a good thing for anything.
Well, but the NFL, like I said, they don't care about any other sport. There really is no competition with regards to NFL ratings. I mean, the NFL, they actually just had a poll come out this week. The NFL is still the #1 sport in America. So they're not going to worry about that. And since they're both on Fox, my guess is if that were to happen, I don't think they're going to move the game, but if it were, they would probably move the UFC probably to FX, the FX channel or FXX channel, and they wouldn't worry about the competing ratings, to be honest with you. That's just that's how big the NFL is right now.
One more random question. I'm sure you guys will enjoy this one.
All right.
All right. If you got to go up to Mr. Justin Bieber and say one sentence, what would it be?
Please go away.
Okay.
I mean, it's about as simple as I can put
Irrelevant, period.
Yeah.
All right, well, caller, thank you very much.
Appreciate the call.
Well, Tyro Sushi Wallace is out.
Thank you, Ty Royal Smoochie Wallace.
Greatest better in the house.
All right, actually, we have another caller on the line. Caller, can you hear me?
I can hear you.
All right, welcome to 2 Cent Sports News and Entertainment. Oh, again, sorry, 2 Cent Sports and Entertainment. What's your name and what are you calling about?
My name is Jim in North Tampa. I'm calling because I am following up on a request that you wanted me to call in and get some valuable feedback on various sports subjects.
Yeah, because you are very insightful.
Hopefully I don't incite too much violence, though. What's up?
Well, you see, we've gone through the rundown. We've gone through Sherman. We've gone through Super Bowl stuff. We've gone through the Super Bowl ticket prices, things of that nature.
Sherman, are we talking about Richard Sherman?
We are.
Okay. I've wavered on this over the past almost 7 days, and my initial reaction with Richard Sherman was I was angry. I didn't like the fact that he took that platform the way that he did at the end of that game and chose to, what I would say, shine the light on himself. And then the more time I had to actually think about the situation, the guy is a communications major. He graduated with honors from Stanford.
Mm-hmm.
He's working on his master's degree.
Mm-hmm.
Who am I to blame? What is he? 24, 25 years old.
Yeah.
Who am I to blame a young guy like that, who obviously is intelligent and articulate and wants to take advantage of that situation to promote himself? But I do believe that the NFL is facing a problem in that they're allowing the media to allow these gentlemen to promote themselves rather than promoting the team, rather than promoting the game. Yes, for the short term it is promoting the game, but I think in the long run you're going to find a lot of parents, a lot of grandparents, people are going to start choosing to not pay the high dollar ticket for people who glorify themselves in a team sport. At least that's the case with me. I stopped buying the high price tickets a long time ago. Usually the only games I'll go to is if the tickets were given to me or if there's some type of a charity discount or something like that.
Right. Well, I think there's some truth to that, but I think more people just don't go to the games because it's just so much easier to sit at home and watch it on HD, and where you get replays and you get commentary and you can still do other stuff. I mean, I'm a long time Buck season ticket holder. I have been for over 20 years, and I have the NFL package at home, and there's sometimes, especially when the Bucks aren't very good, I get up some Sundays, I'm just like, man, I really just don't even want to go to this game today, just because knowing that it's just not going to be worth wanting to go. I'd rather just sit at home and watch the games on my HD TV. But ultimately I end up going anyway. But that's just me. But the prices are getting a little ridiculous and out of hand, and I think that's why the NFL are taking a lot of these measures and getting more access to guys, miking them up and sticking microphones into them 30 seconds after they've made one of the biggest plays in their career. The NFL's got to take some responsibility for this. In trying to get instant access to these guys. They're getting they're really getting what they asked for. in my opinion. And
that's what I was trying to say myself. I hate this.
And then they turn around and find the guy. And then they turn around and find the guy.
They did not fine him for what he said. They fined him for doing the choke sign.
Well,
come on. That's what it said. Read the reports. They fined him for doing this. This isn't here. Let me put the camera on myself.
I know what he did.
It's an this right here is an illegal thing that, I mean, did you watch the Clemson-Ohio State game?
The choke gesture?
Correct.
Yeah, whatever.
Yeah.
Oh, come on. If I did that, I'd be fined $100. Well, I mean, hell, $100 for me is a lot of money, so.
Probably be kicked in the balls.
Well, what is your opinion on as hosts of a sports show? What are your opinions on my perspective, my angle that the NFL is getting themselves into starting to turn up the temperature, so to speak, and on the family atmosphere of the games. If we go back to the Justin Timberlake, Janet Jackson, what was the halftime performance?
Right.
It seems like they're trying to sensationalize everything for ratings, rather than delivering a product that everybody is going to be comfortable with. If we didn't see that Janet Jackson thing, I mean, I'm sure there are plenty of people that were entertained and not offended by it, but there were, equally the amount of people that were offended by it. Why would you want to take anybody off?
Right.
Well, if it's going to increase ratings, then it's okay.
And people are still talking about it.
That is going to lead to their demise.
Well, here's the thing. Also, the NFL's they've got some issues of their own. The problem is that they're so popular right now that they can pretty much do whatever they want to do. The issues the reason they do sensationalize a lot of these things and allow them to happen is because it keeps them relevant, so to speak. When they've got issues with regards to changing the rules of the game, when you're talking about no more hits to the head kind of thing. So what do they do to kind of counteract that? Well, they don't really allow the defensive players to really put their hands on receivers all that much. So and that's why the game the last 3, 4, 5 years has turned into a really pass-heavy game, because now the defenders really aren't allowed to do the things that they could do a few years ago, and that's why you're seeing like Peyton Manning break passing records in getting 55 touchdown passes, and it's just so what the NFL is doing in a way it's kind of smart is that these other things that are detracting from their game, they're kind of covering them up and finding other ways to detract from their game, and the NFL is just so popular.
That is what I believe is our short-term band-aids. And I like what the NFL has done over the years. I agree with it being a great entertainment venue, but as a parent, as a dad who has 2 kids, I honestly choose not to have my son emulate a certain type of athlete, and this isn't a colored thing.
Right.
Although that gets interjected. When I say a certain type of athlete, I'm talking about a guy who puts team first. It's okay to to compliment yourself, and I have no problem, as I stated, with Richard Sherman's enthusiasm after the game. It wasn't his fault that he had or his doing that he had a microphone in his face. Right?
Oh, come on!
I agree with you.
Me.
No,
Earlier on in the show, because I wasn't sure if you were checking in, we had a guy from ESPN, CBS, and NBC Sports Radio, Vince Noble. Me and him and Scuba were all arguing about this.
We're arguing about it.
I believe, sharing our opinions, I believe that you need to keep your composure. And Jim, I know you know me. I know I know that we've been together as a staff before, and you know that I have a little bit of big problem of keeping my composure on a football field. But that does not mean that, I know. But that does not mean that in a post-game interview, you're going to hear me go over, and I'll use them for an example. Those Raiders, oh my God, their coaches were dirty. They sucked. They were a mediocre team. No, come on.
I've heard you talk about that though before.
And again, you're trying
to compare your situation to their situation, and there's not even a comparison.
How?
I'm sorry, there's not.
I have been interviewed. Okay, look.
Oh, you've been interviewed.
Listen,
right?
I've been interviewed
you've had
by
Aaron
television
Andrews sticking
too.
microphones in your your face
I
after you made a great play to get your team into the Super Bowl of the NFL, right?
Is I think women need to stay off the sideline.
Well,
women interviewers need to stay off the sideline.
There's no need for them. I agree.
No.
With you. Whether it's even if it were male, I think sideline reporters are just stupid.
Yeah.
They don't belong there. But you're getting back off track.
Well, I'm not saying it's not what you should expect from somebody who just won a game like that or just made one of the best plays ever in his career, but you shouldn't do it in the first place.
Well,
come on.
I think Jim and I are in agreement in a lot of things here.
Well, here's the thing, Zach, and this is where I said I put a lot of thought into it over the week. In order for Richard Sherman, to have made it out of the environment that he was raised in, he had to believe in himself more than even probably his own parents believed in him.
I touched on that myself.
I mean, the kid grew up in, South Central Los Angeles, incompetent. And if you want to look into the crime statistics, I mean, it's outrageous, the violence and everything. So for this guy to have made it from that environment and graduate with honors from Stanford, his promotion of himself and his belief in himself, especially at the age of 24. I mean, he's not a teenager, but even at that age, guys still have that kind of swagger and attitude. And I'm not blaming. It's a learning process, I guess, is what I'm trying to say.
Yep.
He didn't grow up in a humbled environment. That wasn't the case.
Yep.
So let's hope that 10 years from now, 5 years from now, when he has the microphone in his face, he doesn't react the same way. Maybe he will.
You said exactly. You said exactly what I swear to you, it's like you were a parent on my shoulder. You were saying exactly the same exact things that I said. I said the same thing too. I said we brought up the point too. Is like how many times do you see guys that kind of come off like this early off in their career, and as they mature and they grow older, and as they're in the leagues a little bit longer, that all of a sudden, you see the changes, and they don't do some of the things that they used to do. So you touch on exactly the same things that I was making my points as well. So,
well, I appreciate you guys having me on the show.
All right,
and I'll give you a call back next week.
Sounds good.
Right,
yeah,
thanks,
we'll be
Jim.
breaking down the game more next week. Thanks for the call, Jim.
All right, great. Thank you.
Now, one thing I do have to interject, and I mentioned it earlier, Jim and I have been on the same coaching staff for a couple years now, and he knows how I am. But again, and you know what? I think Vince even said it. Ray Lewis needed to learn himself. There's players need to learn and grow up a little bit.
It's a maturity thing.
But hey, hell, I guarantee you, and I know myself, that it would be different if it was me.
You don't know because you won't ever know because.
Are you saying that Steinbrenner's not going to win a championship?
What?
Douchebag.
What? Hey, real quick, talk about. So I wanted to go back to the Seattle and 30-point deal. I'm just going to run through the scores this all season. I am mistaken. They did give up 30. They did give up 30 plus points one time, but game 1 they gave up only 7 points to Carolina. Game 2 they only gave up 3 points to San Francisco. Game 3 they only gave up 17 to Jacksonville. Game 4 20 to Houston. Game 5 is the one game they lost. Indianapolis scored 34 on them. I believe that was in Indianapolis. Game 6, they gave up 13 to Tennessee. Game 7, 22 to Arizona. Game 8, 9 to St. Louis. No, November 3rd, game 9, Tampa Bay did get 24 in there, but if you were watching that Tampa Bay game, they were handed a couple of those scores. Game 10, only 10 to Atlanta. Game 11, 20 to Minnesota. Game 13, 7 to New Orleans. The rematch on Game 14, 19 to San Francisco. They shut out the Giants in Game 15, 17 points to Arizona on game 16, and then only 9 points again to St. Louis in the last game of the season. So nobody's putting up 30 points.
No, and I don't think Denver will. Denver may be the most pass-heavy, incredible offense in the NFL, but at the same token, I don't see it happening. I think Seattle has the best defense in the NFL.
Yeah. Well, we'll talk about it next week for more, but so getting off the football. Well, I don't want to quite get off football. There's one thing I wanted to bring up from last week.
Yeah.
What?
I think I know where you're. Are you going with the college?
Yes.
Yeah. Okay. Me and you are going to have the best on-air time that we have ever had on this show.
Okay. Well, I'd be a little remiss if I didn't bring this up, and I kind of wanted to bring it up last week and just didn't get to it. It came out. We're going back to the national championship game, FSU and Auburn. Mm-hmm. It came out, and there's Auburn's Damian Craig was stealing FSU's signals for most of the first half. All right, listen to me. It's.
I'm sorry. I get into it.
First of all, it's true. Okay.
Okay.
Now he was stealing their signals in the first half, and he was caught. I mean, they kind of figured it out, and it even got more to their attention in the very start of the third quarter, which is kind of when things started to turn. Now, little background. Now, Damian Craig, for anybody that follows the game, was a quarterback at Auburn, while Jimbo Fisher was the quarterback coach under Terry Bowden, back when Auburn went 11-0 that year. He was a freshman. Damian Craig ended up not really he didn't get to start until his last couple of years, but his career at Auburn is not relevant. He then was a graduate assistant at LSU while Jimbo Fisher was at LSU as offensive coordinator. And then Jimbo Fisher kind of gave him his first job. And then at FSU, Damian Craig was quarterback's coach under Jimbo Fisher at FSU from 2010 to 2012, just last year or 2 years ago. At any rate, so Damian Craig had vast knowledge of offensive calls and so forth. And I fault Jimbo Fisher for not really thinking about that and not being responsible enough to change their signal calling. That's what coaching, is about. You have to know what, to change your signals up. So, there's video out there, even on one of the first early part of the third quarter with Kelvin Benjamin coming over to the sideline while Jimbo Fisher's talking with Jameis Winston. And he just looks over and he says, Damian's calling the plays, coach. And at that point, they made the adjustments. They started changing the signals, and then they had two boys go out there and hold up towels every time they were calling up plays. I'm not going to call it a coincidence, but the game certainly got a whole lot different.
Oh, come on.
From that point forward. What?
You cannot tell me that that's why Auburn was up 21-3. Okay, you can't say that.
I can say that. I can say that for the simple fact that if you know what fucking offense the FSU is going to run,
okay,
then you know how to defend them.
I guarantee.
Listen. I even rewatched the game last night. All right.
Okay.
And I hate listening to Brent Musburger,
yeah,
I wanted to go back and watch the game, kind of hear what the announcers were saying.
Okay.
One of the first things they were saying about, I'm not talking about Auburn scoring 21 points. That was not my issue. My issue was how Florida State was held to 3 points or 10 until the very end of the half. That's what's important. And one of the comments that Brent Musburger had made, and what's his name?
Whatever his name is. No, you're fine.
Well, anyway, one of the things he said is Auburn is playing a perfectly defensive game tonight. They, just something along those lines. That is a clear indicator. You play perfect defense by knowing what the other team is about to run. And the same thing happened, in the Bucs Super Bowl against the Raiders. The Bucs defense knew exactly what the Raiders were calling, which is why they were there to make the plays that they were able to make and why they absolutely destroyed them.
Okay, look, you may be right. You may be.
It's not a matter of maybe,
no,
right? I am right.
No, you're not. Okay, listen, sign stealing, I guarantee you, happens in every freaking game. You know what? And since the camera's on me, you guys can see it, okay? I was coaching, and it happens in the Lutz freaking Chiefs where I coach youth football with 11 and 12-year-olds, okay? I'm sitting there in my playoff game doing this. right across my ears, so it's a short pass. And guess what? What do you hear their coach tell their player? Hey, watch the short pass. Pointing at me. Obviously, sign stealing happens in every game. It's happened to me twice in high school.
Your signs are a little bit more simplistic.
Again, well,
it wasn't signal. It wasn't just signals. It was the actual plays themselves. You knew exactly what plays were being called.
So?
Then you know what to do.
Oh, come on! I have seen. I can look at a play. I can look at a formation.
You're being simplistic about it. You're saying that. Okay, look for the short pass. Okay, well, what short pass? These were specific to exactly what play was being run.
There's film.
That doesn't tell you exactly what play is coming.
Yeah, but you know what plays they're going to run.
Not
or possibly going to run. Yes.
But your formations only change so much. It doesn't mean you can't run 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 different plays out of there, as opposed to knowing if you have A, B, C, D, and E to choose from, but you specifically know they're running B, then you know how to defend B. You know exactly where you need to go and make sure that doesn't happen. And that's exactly what was happening in that
I'm telling you. It happens everywhere.
Oh, my God. Not to this extent.
Oh, come on. I have seen it happen before. I have seen people sit there and do this, okay? I may give a sign, and it may be some stupid thing. Hell, I can hold up a picture of Katy Perry like Auburn does. I've had coaches do this. 21 toss. And what did we run? We run a 21 toss, and they didn't get that from sign stealing. They got it from film.
You're trying to compare a loose,
it happens everywhere.
A 21 toss is not the same thing as 21 zebra, E, left, right, fucking 15 different
I know how plays work.
Forget it. Anyway.
No. I'm not done yet.
Here.
No, there is.
You are done.
No, I'm not. You can't restrict the coach. I am the coach. Come on. Shit. I told you this would be the greatest piece of radio we've ever had.
Listen. You cannot defend it.
But I can.
No, you cannot.
Oh, my God. Help me.
You do need some help.
You know what I want? I want Michael G. Butash.
Whatever.
He can defend me.
He's gonna need to, because he certainly can't help you with football knowledge.
Hey, now. I don't know what the hell you're talking about. Oh crap. I'm just telling you, man. I do not think sign stealing does happen everywhere.
It's just sign stealing. It's knowing exactly the exact play call. It's a difference. I'm not just talking about, like baseball. Oh, he's throwing a fastball. Look for the fastball. I mean, there's a whole lot of hubdub about that too. But
I'm just telling you,
this is knowing exactly. Hey, this is Z slant left right going to number 80 or whatever.
Okay,
you know what I'm saying?
Look,
you know exactly what to do.
Okay, look, you can watch film. Okay,
and
you see a formation, and they may run 5 or 6 plays out of that formation. But
if they know what number, but they know the exact. It's one thing to know that you can run 4 or 5 different plays out of a formation, as opposed to knowing the exact play that's coming.
So what you're saying, and I'm going to sum this up and make sure I'm correct because I don't want to say anything stupid, which happens a lot. What you're saying is the reason that Auburn was keeping Florida State down to 3 points is because they were sign stealing.
It certainly had a lot to do with it.
No.
Yes.
No.
Yes.
No.
And here's the other thing. All right, so let me put it in this perspective. If I was standing right next to you and I told you, I'm going to punch you in the face right now.
Okay.
On the count of 3, I'm punching you in the face, and you got to 3, would you not now know that you'd be able to block that? Or if I just came up to you and just punched you in the face, I'd punch you in the face more than likely, right?
No, you wouldn't.
Whatever. My point is.
I get you, but
all right, no. And there's a reason why all of a sudden FSU got offense going in the second half.
Because they decided to get the pregame jitters out of here and decided to start playing Florida State football.
No.
Dude, they were not playing well, and you can't say that that's the reason. Auburn signed.
It makes a whole lot more sense now why they weren't playing well, does it not? Yes, when you got it. Look, people said the same thing about the Patriots in the stupid Spygate. That now they knew everything was coming. It's again, I go back to the Bucs Super Bowl against the Raiders. Anybody on that defense will tell you, and it's even on video with John Lynch coming over the sidelines. I knew exactly what they were running. I've done that before.
Because
they knew.
I've done that before.
Because they knew the play calls.
I've done that before.
So don't tell me it doesn't mean any difference.
I have done that before myself. I have played defense.
So you're telling me it doesn't make any. So you're agreeing with me that it makes a difference.
No.
Oh, it doesn't make any difference that you know what play is coming as opposed to not knowing what play is coming. Is that what you're trying to tell me?
Here's the thing.
Is that what you're trying to tell me?
No, that's not what I'm trying to tell you.
So you are agreeing
no,
with
I'm
me.
not. Here, listen to me.
If you know
listen
what the
to me.
play is.
Yeah, you know what the play is, but there's something there, and there's something I think was invented back when football, started, and I've learned how to call them myself. It's called an audible.
Oh,
you
really?
see a defense, and they switch it up, okay? Because you see defenses, the quarterback goes up, they check Mike linebackers, left outside and right outside, Sam will, and you sit there, and what does defenses do? They'll make the players audible and change, the defense changes. So you can't tell me that if Jameis Winston went up there and said,
if they know the play call is what
change the play call, change it.
They did. That's when they figured it out. When they figured out that that's what was going on, they made the changes. They made the adjustments.
No. I'm telling you, me and you are going to disagree. We can go on about 4 hours about this.
No.
Because I do not think that anything related sign stealing, it has very little. Okay, you can change your game plan.
So basically, what you're saying is that to know what play is coming at you doesn't make any difference to
execute
as opposed
the play.
to not knowing. What
execute the play.
Really?
Yes.
Okay.
Execute the play.
You're an idiot.
No, you're a moron.
Okay. So from now on, I'm going to make sure that somehow I know all your play calls for the Lutz Chiefs. And I'm going to stand on the other team's sideline and tell them everything that's coming.
I want you to.
Because it's not going to make any difference.
You want to know why? This is what you do, okay? Jameis Winston comes up to the line. He checks his players. Oh, why is the defense shifting? Okay, well, they have perfect coverage. Hey, let's check again. And what's the Auburn guy going to do? Oh, wait a minute. They're running this play. Check again. No.
They can.
But they won't.
They can call a timeout, which I believe they did at one point.
Yeah.
But knowing what play is coming, you cannot sit there and tell me that if you know what play is coming, that it's a lot easier than not knowing what's coming at you. It's just simple fact.
I think that execution.
You have to execute, sure.
Yeah.
But you can't sit there and tell me that if you know what play is coming, that's not easier than not knowing what play is coming. Right?
Correct.
Okay, boom, end of argument.
No, that's bull. Because you're sitting here no, that's not what it is. Is you're telling me that's the reason why Auburn was up 21-3.
It had a lot to do
no,
with
it didn't.
How can it not? All right, you just agreed with me and told me and said that knowing the plays that are coming makes it a lot easier than not knowing.
Yes, it does, because the defense can defend it. But with perfect...
Stop. So you just said that it makes it easier, correct?
Yes.
So if said team knows what plays are coming, they can defend it a heck of a lot better than not knowing what's coming.
That doesn't relate to the score.
How does it not relate to the score?
Come on, man. You cannot
You're preventing a team from executing their offense because you know how to defend what's coming.
It's their own fault.
No, it's not.
Oh, my God.
Oh, my goodness.
Listen to me. I have audibled out of several things. And look, okay, and this has happened, okay, because I've played probably every single position on the football field. That's right. The fat coach, was a quarterback at one point. Okay? I have done this before, okay? And it wasn't my high school days when I was a quarterback. I went up to the line, went like this. The play, it was, I don't know, let's just give a play. Let's go a wing right 47 toss play action. Okay, so you're up here like this. Down. Oh, wait a minute. Wait, check. He's moving. He's checking because they're already set up. Or you're saying that they're already set up in the defense, right?
Sometimes you can mask your defense, but you can still adjust to an audible. You can still know what's coming. So you can't audible every single play. You can't. Sometimes you don't have time to do that.
Well, okay. What is Peyton Manning doing yelling Omaha all the freaking time?
He runs the offense.
Yes, he is the offensive coordinator.
So that's
why the Browns couldn't hire Peyton Manning as their head coach.
No, they had to settle. Well, everybody kept turning them down. That was part
of
the problem there.
That was terrible.
Everybody turned the Browns down.
Yeah.
So we'll transition to there. But
see, like my transition?
Everybody's turned the Browns down.
Yes.
They finally had to settle for defensive coordinator from Buffalo, Mike Pettine.
I love how they interviewed Greg Schiano.
Yeah. Well, I don't
That's how desperate they were.
Yeah. Well, everybody was turning him down. No one wants to go work for the Browns.
No.
I mean, is that like the worst coaching job to have?
Absolutely.
Right now? I mean, no one wants to go there. But Mike Pettine, you call him default head coach or what? I mean, he was defense coordinator from Buffalo. Before that, though, he was the defensive coordinator with the Ravens. And he worked with the Ravens even as a linebackers coach and such when Rex Ryan was still with the Ravens. So the guy's a great defensive mind, a great defensive coach, and I just don't know if that's what the Browns need right now, but I don't think they had much choice. I think
they ran out, and like you said, everyone turned them down. Josh McDaniels turned them down, and
everybody turned them down. Some people were just like didn't even want to interview with him. It was so bad. So
well, it's because they don't. In my opinion, me and you may differ because we've differed on every freaking subject that has been on today, and this is what makes for good radio. But I think that what they're worried about is they're gonna be fired next year. I don't think. I mean, I don't want to mispronounce his name. So can you say the former Browns head coach his name for me?
Rob Shajinsky.
Shajinsky, yeah. He wasn't terrible. Did he deserve to be fired?
Yeah, less than a year on the job.
Exactly. But I'm asking.
Well, no, I mean
exactly.
How do you deserve to get? But I think the Browns did more than they should have given the circumstances. You mean traded away what was arguably at the time their best player until Josh Gordon.
And Trent Richardson panned out real well.
Yeah,
great fantasy pick for me. Damn it.
But no one wants to work for the Browns. That organization. I mean. It's just it's insane how anybody can even want to be a fan of that organization. They've just never done anything right, ever, and it's silly. But poor guys. But let's touch on. Got a little bit of time left here. We had a couple big baseball's coming up around the corner. We'll start talking now. Football's transitioning out. We will start talking some baseball. Start getting into some hockey too eventually, hopefully. But we had some big baseball signings this week.
Yep.
The first thing was Yankees won the rights to a right-handed pitcher Masahiro Tanaka from the Japanese league. He went 24-0 with a 1.27 ERA his last year in the Japanese league. Yeah. And he's 25 years old.
So is he going to be the next Yu Darvish?
Well, let's hope so. If he's hopefully he's the next Yu Darvish and not the next Daisuke Matsuzaka.
Daisuke Matsuzaka, home of the gyro ball.
It's the only problem that with a lot of these Japanese guys that they come here, they got all this talent, but they've been used so heavily in the Japanese leagues that they just burn out.
Yeah,
I mean they do have a lot of innings on their arms, but that can be a good or a good thing or not. But I've seen his. He's got some nasty pitches. They signed him for $155 million for 7 years.
Yeah.
He does have an opt-out clause after his fourth year, and then they got to pay $20 million to the Japanese team that they got him from. So, Yankees have made some moves this year. I'm not sure if they're the greatest. I mean, they upgraded at center field with Jacoby Ellsbury, but the question is, will Ellsbury be able to stay healthy? That's been an issue that he's had. Got Brian McCann upgraded at catcher, and then of course you got Carlos Beltran coming on board. Should provide pretty much probably some DH play there. And this is the last time the Yankees spent $400 million in the offseason was 2009, and they won the World Series. I just don't know that the Yankees are going to got enough yet. I mean, I'm liking the pitching move.
Yeah.
They at least have 3 legit starters. They still haven't addressed their closer situation. You just can't replace a Mariano Rivera.
No, you can't.
That's tough, and that's going to be a weak spot for the Yankees. David Robinson's probably going to step into that slot. We'll see what happens there. But speaking of closers, the Rays re-signed Balfour this year.
Yes.
This year,
Mr. Fastball.
Yep. Signed him for 2 years, $12 million. Balfour was excited actually about coming back to the Rays. He said he never really wanted to leave. He took a lot less money. He actually probably could have gotten $12 million for 1 year. He's taking it for 2 just to be back with the Rays and with the coach, the manager there.
Joe Madden.
Joe Madden, thank you. I'm not in baseball mode yet, so that's why I'm struggling with names right now.
Well, I was about to call him John Madden. Have you ever had that problem?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But Balfour, he was actually a setup man when he was with the Rays the first time around.
Yep.
It wasn't until last year and the year before that, the A's made him a stopper. He was one of the top ones. He converted 62 67 saves. He had 44 straight actually. At one point in the last 2 years with a 2.56 ERA, he had 144 strikeouts and 137.5 innings. He was an all-star last year. The only question I have about it is he is 36. That's concerning to me. And he did have a deal in place actually with the Orioles back in December. The Orioles backed out on the deal. They felt that they had some concerns over his physical, something to do with his shoulder. the Rays apparently didn't see the same issues or have the same issues, and so here he is back with the Rays. So I know Rays fans are excited about that. We'll see. Hope, if it pans out. It'll be interesting because the Rays have usually done a closer by committee, and now they actually have a legit guy they can consider a closer, and be done with the whole Fernando Rodney fiasco. So
yeah, but Fernando Rodney gave us some great years.
1 year.
He had only one?
Yeah.
It's been one season?
Well, he was with them last year, but he wasn't like he was.
No, I completely agree.
2 years ago.
We're agreeing on something.
Yeah.
Wow, finally.
But we'll talk some more
An hour and a half
baseball
in.
with baseball coming up. Pitchers and catchers will start reporting in a couple weeks. So
I'm actually heading out to, I believe, the Braves and Phillies upcoming very soon.
All right. Well, So we got baseball coming up, and we'll have college baseball starting up. Jameis Winston is back out playing for FSU. College baseball.
Well, I got to throw this out there. I have a friend of mine who was diagnosed with cancer, and he's beaten it, and now he's actually pitching alongside Jameis Winston.
Nice.
So it's really cool, but
cool.
Me and Jameis Winston just aren't on the same page at the moment.
Right. And Aiden, since we both at least follow college baseball a little bit, you see UConn. It looks like our boy is going to be in the majors here soon.
Who's that? Springer?
Yep.
George Springer. Astros?
Yep.
Look at me.
He was tore up the double in AAA last year. I think George Springer may actually make the team this year and be in the league.
Well, remember, we also have Michael Old, who a couple years ago is now with the Texas Rangers. Did you know?
Well, yeah, but actually, we got one other guy that's in the Red Sox organization too, Matt Barnes.
Matt Barnes, the pitcher?
Yeah.
Yep.
He's actually one of the top prospects too. So he actually may come up with the Red Sox this year too. So got a couple of them coming up.
Yeah, and I mean it's he couldn't hurt.
Nope, not at all. So, So football is winding down. Next week's the last week of the NFL. We'll obviously, when draft rolls around in April or whatever they moved it to anymore, we'll talk on that. But we'll have our Super Bowl breakdown show next week.
Oh yeah.
We'll see how long we can go with that. We may have to bring in some other topics to fill in the time, but kind of wind down today. I want to appreciate all the calls we had today. We didn't really give out the number, so that probably wasn't a good thing.
Well, it's fun. I mean, here, I have a question for you real quick. We have a caller who wants to call in right now, and we have 5 minutes left. Should we take it?
Okay, yep.
Okay. Well, yep, he said he's going to chime in right now,
all right.
Probably on Richard Sherman because he's a big Seattle guy.
Okay.
And so he's probably going to sit here and go, "Oh, Richard Sherman, great football player, great interview." No, it wasn't. Sorry.
Yeah, it was. You get to take the call or not?
No, he hasn't called in yet. He's dialing. And what I may do is to get him in here quicker, I may just dial it myself because, he's a slow dialer. But anyway, Vince Noble wanted to give a quick shout out. He says, "I wanted to say thank you for having me on this morning. It was a really cool and fun show." So cool.
Yeah, it was good having him on.
But anyway, basically, this has been a show of disagreements.
Yeah, in schooling.
That was schooling?
Schooled you again.
In what?
Schooled you again.
In what?
You name it.
Jesus. So you think you school me, and you don't.
I do, though.
I'm trying to hold myself back here.
I don't think so.
All right, so we got the call.
All
right, caller, welcome to 2 Cents Sports News and Entertainment. What's your name, and what are you calling about?
Joseph Yim.
Joseph, how you doing?
Pretty good, sir.
All right.
Kind of up against it, Joe, so kind of have to make it quick.
All right, so I called in to talk about Richard Sherman, and I myself, I am a Seahawks fan, and I understand a lot. It's either you love that guy or you hate that guy, and I definitely love him. I mean, a lot of people see him like in a different way because he talks a lot of crap.
Yeah, he does.
And he should. I agree, he does, but it is true. He is the best corner in the league, in my opinion.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people only see him as the bad person he is, but he's actually a really good guy.
I don't disagree with you one bit.
Okay.
I'm with you on that.
But do you think his interview was appropriate?
Yes, and you know what? No, that was.
Okay.
I don't think
All right.
that was not appropriate at all. I think he should just calm down. Yeah, that was kind of a little too much. I agree with that.
Thank you.
But that's just the person he is. So
yeah,
I respect that guy 100%, and that's all I gotta say about him.
Yep. At least he's truthful and he's honest and he lays it out there. He's not playing no games. But yeah, I agree with you 100%. Appreciate the call. Sorry we didn't have enough time, but we're up
Joe.
against the clock.
Oh, it's all good.
Thanks, Joe.
Bye-bye.
Appreciate it.
All right.
So now it looks like I got more of my favorite today than the two of y'all.
Whatever. He just agreed with me. He said the interview was a little overzealous.
But he still also said that there was nothing wrong with it. So anyway,
whatever.
But do appreciate all the calls today. Thanks for tuning in. Again, next week, 11 a.m., we will be back on for Super Bowl Sunday breakdown show. And we obviously welcome all your comments. If you haven't gone to our Facebook page, 2 Cents Sports and News, please go on there. We could use some more likes. We're about 23 likes away from hitting 200 mark. We need to get that page a little bit more exposure. And Zach, I know you got some other social things out there. Go ahead.
That's right. Zach Attack, a.k.a. the coach, a.k.a. Zach, going to be repping on the Twitter. It's at 2 Cent Zach. Check me out. Like the Facebook page, 2 Cents Sports, News, and Entertainment. Check me out on LinkedIn. It's a business app. It's at Zachary Williams Cooper. And that's all I got, I believe. Do we have any more social media? Thank you for our sponsors, Mike Butash, Derek Brooks, DB55, Joe Peretta.
And if you're interested in ever taking up any martial arts, Tampa Bay Tang Sudo Center, South Tampa.
Yep.
I'm a senior instructor over there. We've got Grandmaster 8th Dan, 8th degree black belt. Michael Baird, we teach over there. We're right off of Himes and Lincoln.
Mm-hmm.
And appreciate anybody that wants to
Yeah.
get their kids in. We got kids programs, we got women's programs starting up, and we've got a lot of years of experience there.
And make sure and check out the WWE's Royal Rumble tonight. That's what I'll be doing because I have no life.
Truth.
All right,
folks. Well, thanks for tuning in. Thanks for listening. Appreciate it. Y'all have a great weekend or a great week, and we'll talk to you later.